from beautiful Knoxville, Tennessee, here on a Wednesday. Ryan, good afternoon, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing well. Like you said, it's a rainy Wednesday, but it cleared up a little bit. I was worried. I'm a South Knoxville native getting out here. Thought this has the makings to be an incredibly long trek if it's rainy and there's traffic, but the rain, Mother Nature was kind, and it cleared up before we got coming out this direction.
Okay, well, I'm glad you made it in safe. But yeah, it's been raining nonstop from morning to now as we're.
No, it doesn't. May was incredibly rainy. I didn't think we got like any rain in July, and now August is just every day chance of rain at the very least, if not raining.
Absolutely. Well, we've got a loaded show for you guys today. We're going to talk about ESPN, who's super high on Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley going into 2025. We'll talk about Tennessee baseball because we are going to have Tyler Myatt, Walter State phenom, new Tennessee transfer, DH, outfielder, second base, who we're not sure where Tyler Myatt's going to play next season at Tennessee, but we know we are excited about the local star from Walter State joined the program here at 1:15, so make sure you're locked in there. We'll also talk to Oakland head football coach Kevin Creasy to talk about his Patriots going into his title defense season with the Pats. You got two Tennessee commits over the last 2 years, last two cycles from Oakland. This cycle with Joel Wyatt, who transferred this summer to Oakland, and then also Dwan Morris, who was a star for Oakland last year at the running back spot. So loaded hour one, you'll get Kevin here at 1:35 as well. And then in hour number two, we'll talk about ESPN's best bet, taking the over 8.5 wins for UT this fall, and whether Ryan and I agree with taking the over right now and the 8.5 total. We'll also talk about Jimbo Fisher. Does he make sense anywhere in 2026? Could he reemerge in the SEC? Is Arkansas an option for the former national title winning coach? We'll talk about what the best fit for him is and other big name coaches that are available who have been out of coaching for a little bit that we are curious what they do in 26 and beyond. And we'll wrap up with calling our shot. Tennessee's most important 2025 transfer in football and men's hoops this cycle will be who. So all that right here on the Chase 1 to 3, Monday through Friday, right here on Fan Run Sports Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app. Make sure you download that app today if you have not already, so you can listen whenever, wherever you want to check out all of our great shows for 13 hours a day. You can do so with ease on our free Fan Run Radio app. You can also watch us. We're on Fan Run Sports on our YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe if you are watching our stream right here and jump in the chat there as well. And then finally, you can call or text us at 865-966-3435 is the way to do so. 865-966-3435 is the way to get involved here with the Chase with Ryan Shumpert of Breakout Insider in studio with us out of the gate. Ryan, no practice to watch for Tennessee football. That is now closed off to the media for the rest of this offseason. Big time Tennessee scrimmage coming up here on Friday. But I'm curious with the scrimmage coming up on Friday, in your estimation here, as a couple days, we're 48 hours out from that, it's kind of like I think Ben McKee of Go Vols 247 going to separation scrimmage here on Friday because you're in mock game week next week. So whoever's going to make a move needs to make a move this year or this Friday rather. And quarterback, center, right guard / left guard, and safety are the big time battles that still are yet to be, formally announced as to where things are going. And I'm sure we're going to get a whole lot of oars on that first depth chart that Tennessee puts out here in a couple weeks. But to you, do you think all of those positions are won or lost on Friday?
No, I don't think so. Not at all, to be honest. I think quarterback, it would probably be good to just make a move and know at that point to kind of have someone that you're ready to roll with, I guess. I don't think once you get into mock game week, you're going to have a ton of separation at that point as you're starting to do your game prep for Syracuse. I think whether you announce it publicly or not, it needs to be pretty clear. One person needs to be getting first-team reps the entire time, I guess is my point. The rest of those spots, no, I don't think you're going to just be decided by this one scrimmage or have it decided after the scrimmage. And some of that's just the nature of the position, especially safety. I don't feel like that's all that necessary. To use Ben's line, I'll use a line that Brent Hubbs has been saying since I started listening to him in middle school. I think it's more about you got to know who's above and below the line. I think after after Friday scrimmage. You have to know who's going to help you. I don't think you have to know who's going to start. You have to know who the players are that you feel confident can help you when you take the field against Syracuse and Atlanta.
Yeah, and I mean, I think some early returns. I was listening to Ryan Callahan of Good Balls 247 and Ben on their podcast earlier this week talk about it, and the safety position in particular. It seems like last year there was so much consternation about walk-on Will Brooks taking over for Wesley Walker in 2024, and obviously that worked out wonderfully for Tennessee, and Will Brooks came away with some big plays and was really good for Tennessee last fall. And then it's like Idris Farouk just seems to be settling in, right? Like he's just someone as a redshirt freshman who could be a long-term answer there. You have redshirt freshman Caleb Beasley, former four-star out of Lipscomb there as well, but two powerhouses, Lipscomb and then Idris being from the Baltimore powerhouse, St. Francis. And that's where Dominic Bailey came from, and then current three-star guard recruit Edward Baker also there. So
Aaron Willis, flashback name.
There you go. That is, I mean, another name right there.
I don't know where he finished his college career, but he was a big end of Jeremy Pruitt era recruit.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're also, it's just one of those things where I feel okay at safety. I feel Colton Hood, by all accounts, has separated himself in that corner spot. You feel really good there. I think McMurray is going to feel more like that Tamarion McDonald at star, depending on what happens with Boo. But right now, I think it'd be an upset if we see Boo Carter as the starter at star going into the Syracuse game at this point in time here on August 13th. And you feel okay with Jalen McMurray at that spot. Second year in the system, versatile guy, top 100 corner in PFF last year, along with Ricky and Dramad. But I feel pretty good about the secondary. I feel good about linebackers. Feel really good about the depth on the defensive line. But it is interesting that right guard, it seems like it's Jesse Perry's to lose. But remember, if Sam Pendleton gets that center job, then are you sure you want to go right guard as a redshirt freshman with Perry and a true freshman with David Sanders? Is that part of your best five? Because you mentioned Brent Hubbs. That's what he is talked about, is finding your best five. And my thing is, I kind of wonder how Tennessee manages that, because Pendleton, I think, has been banged up, right? And William Satterwhite was getting some runs to the one at center in the last scrimmage. What if Satterwhite, you have to throw him out there because Pendleton's banged up? And what if that situation where Pendleton might not be one of the stars who we thought was a favorite? And Wendell Moy, do you move him from left to right guard? And is Sham Umarov more comfortable on the left side? So you have to move Wendell Moy to right and then Umarov to left. Like, there's still a lot of moving parts going into this scrimmage on Friday that all eyes have been on quarterback. I think safety, you feel okay, and who's going to win that position? I think I'm still pretty high on Farouk and Beasley in that rotation there. And then I do think it's going to be interesting to see what that best five is. And it might not even be the best five that they want because of injuries and just seeing who they can trot out there. But they kind of need to sneaky get some guys healthy on the interior. But a lot still up in the air there that I'm very interested to hear what comes out of scrimmage number 2 on that front. Is Pendleton back and ready to go and good, or does Satterwhite have a bounce back game scrimmage on Friday afternoon? That would be huge for Tennessee, and that changes things. So depending on who wins that center job, just changes everything about the interior, which I think is still super fascinating here. A couple weeks out of the opener against Syracuse.
Definitely, we've talked about it here, and certainly I think twice now on the podcast, that all those things very much affect another. In a lot of ways, if Sam Pendleton's healthy, we know he's going to be a starter. So while he is competing at right guard, he's competing a little bit at left guard, but mostly center and right guard. You know, he's not necessarily, the competition isn't necessarily between him and the people at those positions. It's between those other people, whether that be Sham Umarov or Jesse Perry or William Satterwhite, again, Tennessee tries to find their best five. You know, I think it's an interesting thought with the young offensive line on the right side. I don't know if I glean too much into that, just because I think no matter who it's going to be, if it's not Pendleton, it's going to be someone super young. And we have seen Wendell Moy work a little bit at right guard, because that would be the fix, right? He can play both spots. It would be him playing a right guard, and you play the other one on whoever wins that job, whoever emerges at left guard. But my thing is, you know, Sham Umarov doesn't have any experience either. He's a young player too. So I don't think it changes the dynamics enough to me to make me think that that's a huge deal. I think we would see Wendell Moy working more at right guard, maybe not exclusively, but he would be getting the most of his work at right guard if that was something the staff was seriously worried about.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we come back, we're going to have Tyler Myatt, Tennessee star transfer portal edition from East Tennessee. Tyler Myatt joining the program to talk about his awesome Cape Cod performance thus far this summer and why he's excited to join the Vols in 2026 and a whole lot more. Stick with us. It's The Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app.
For the fans, by the fans, this is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Listen up. This is Thomas Miles, nephew Tommy. Okay, now, fellas, let's be adults for a minute. Let me ask you something. When the lights go down in the bedroom, are you still clocking in, or is the equipment on strike? Look, erectile dysfunction is real. It can mess with your mood, your confidence, and don't even talk about the side-eye you get from your lady. But there's good news. Men's Pro Knoxville has licensed medical providers who specialize in turning oh no into let's go. And forget those same old pills. They don't work for everybody. These folks have options most men don't even know exist. Your consultation, just $99. Blood work, consult, and maybe even a test dose if the doc says so. They got an in-house lab, so you'll know where you stand in minutes, not days. So stop stressing. Call 865-544-8220 or hit menspronknoxville.com. Men's Pro Knoxville. Making it happen.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-88-99789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Airlines have just reduced their prices even more. Book 30 days in advance and save big.
Want the absolute lowest prices on your airline tickets? Then call the Low Cost Airlines Travel Hotline right now. For prices so low, we can't publish them anywhere. The only way to access our low rates and save up to 70% is to call. Save hundreds on your vacation tickets by calling right now. You can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-631-1754. 800-631-1754. 800-631-1754. That's 800-631-1754.
Are you looking for a treat that will knock it out of the park at the next watch party? Just like your favorite baseball team, Crumble brings the best lineup week to week with an expanded roster that includes key lime pie, strawberry cake, or my personal favorite, Monster featuring M&M candies. Let Crumble treat you to the best cookies in the game. Download the Crumble app and start earning rewards. You can even vote monthly on what flavors you would like to see at any store of your choice. Warmer weather is here, so get to the ballpark, but don't miss the cookies.
We're back right here on The Chase. Ryan Shumpert of Rocket Top Insider in studio with us, who does a fantastic job covering the team where this guy, local Tennessee standout, fresh off, dominating in the Cape Cod League. It's Tyler Myatt from Walter State on the line right now. Tyler, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
What's up? How are you?
We're doing great over here. A little rainy, so I imagine not a lot of baseball to be done today, right, Tyler?
Nah, I'm about to I just got into Knoxville, about to move all my stuff in.
Does it feel real?
Rainy today.
Does it feel real? Are you ready to go?
It don't feel real right now, but I'm sure at first practice will be real.
I mean, it's Josh Elander dropped the video of how LNS looks going into next year. It's going to be a palace, man. I'm so excited about the look and having that finished product there. And I mean, is it one of those where have you been able to just take it all in, go on the field, walk around, and see like, this is a dream come true for you?
Yeah, I actually got to hit there a couple days ago with my hitting coach, and I took a minute just to soak it all in, and it was enjoyable. I'm excited.
Have you, with Albert Azuna, obviously also raking at Walter State back in the day, and you raking there, have you been able to connect with him about just kind of what he saw as his transition, ultimately not being able to play for Tennessee, but being a part of the team and seeing what it was like making that transition from Walter State to UNC to Tennessee to kind of acclimate and know what it just kind of help you along to prepare you for what's in store in SEC play in 2026?
Yeah, I actually got to hang out with them on my visit. When I got to come to like a game day, and I hung out with them before the game. And like I asked him, I was like, "So why are you here?" He was like, "Because this place is awesome." And he said, "No, like nothing bad about it. He said he had a great time there, whether he was playing or not." And I was like, "That really shows something in a program when you can't even play because of the rules, but you're still having a great time."
Yeah, and Tyler, when I look at how you dominated in Cape Cod, what did you see? What did you make of your trip up there? What made it a really fun, memorable experience? What were your takeaways from how you performed in the Cape Cod League this summer?
Yeah, coming in there, I was a little nervous because, the main question, like the scouts and just everyone were saying, like, can he perform at the high level pitching? The first day I was there, I hit that long home run, and then a couple more home runs and hits, and it proved to myself and hopefully a lot of other people that I can do it. And the main thing up there was the whole time how everyone's so good. It's so hard just to like somehow not get good while you're up there and just work on everything that you can.
Tyler, this is Ryan. We talked when you committed and talked a little bit about the MLB draft and what that process was going to be like for you. How much did you hear that from MLB teams that you talked to, that you needed to be able to prove yourself against top end pitching, and how much confidence does that give you going into Tennessee this season to just prove to yourself that you can do it like you did in the Cape?
It gives me so much confidence. It gives me a little bit of an edge too, because hearing the doubt and stuff from other people kind of just gets me going too, especially from where I'm from, like a smaller town. A lot of people, they'll be like, "You're crazy that you want to go to the MLB," or "You're crazy that you want to go play a high level." It's all just motivation at the end of the day, and it helps me get ready to go too.
Tyler, when you look at just where you ultimately fit defensively, like one of the things that I think is going to be so intriguing to follow with you this offseason going into the 2026 season is finding the best fit for you in the lineup and on the diamond, whether that's second base, outfield, DH. Where do you feel most comfortable going into fall camp here?
Yeah, I'm going to try and play second base and third base as much as I can. And, if it doesn't fit where I need to be at the team, we'll adjust from there.
So is on the outfield DH, what's the makeup change or how you approach it? If you're let's say you're only DHing, does that change your day-to-day and how you approach things? If you're not having to worry about the field, do you just stay ready and still keep that in mind? Like you might end up having to go there. How different of a seasonal approach is it if you are a Tennessee's DH versus Tennessee's second baseman in 26?
Yeah, if say I end up being the DH, I'm still going to have my field work, my field practice stuff, because you have to play defense at the major league level, and I'm going to have to get my work in no matter what. But the mindset doesn't change. I still want to win a national championship and do whatever I can for the team.
Well, both, I guess, because you weren't in the Cape Cod League too long. So this summer, both in the Appy League and the Cape Cod League, how much? I know you got a lot of starts at DH. What was your day-to-day? What would that look like as you worked both at second and third base, even maybe on those games that you weren't starting in the field?
Yeah, so every off day, I would go with a coach to the field, and we'd get ground ball work in, just whatever we see fit to do that day. And then on a game day, if I knew I was DHing, I'd go out a little bit earlier, do ground balls, work on my feet, and just like little stuff just to be prepared, just in case if I had to go in, where I could go in and make plays. But honestly, just working at it every day, no matter if I was DH or played second, like I did a couple times, just making sure that I'm prepared to go into this season more than anything.
Tyler, one of the interesting things to me about just modern day power hitting and launch angle and everything else, like you're obviously coming in with a whole heck of a lot of power and what you showcased both in the Cape and at Walter State. What has been not the secret sauce, but how have you been able to turn into such a power hitter at the college level?
Yeah, I haven't always been like this. I obviously could hit the ball farther a little bit when I was a kid, but like junior year, that's really when it took off. I hit off the tee every day. Like every school day, I'd go after and hit off the tee, and honestly, doing that, like I could just feel my body like just moving a lot better and stronger just by doing the like that little thing, just off the tee, whatever it may be. And then coming into the my freshman year at Walters, didn't really do that good with power hitting. Honestly, hit a lot of ground balls. And then like that off season, I worked about really backspinning the ball. And honestly, after that, it's kind of just changed, backspin everything, and hit it hard no matter what.
You committed pretty early in the cycle of maybe not JUCO commits, but off-season movement, and Tennessee had a lot of off-season movement as was expected. But how much were you tracking what Tennessee was doing in the portal and some of the guys that they got from the draft? And what do you I'm sure you'll know a whole lot more in a couple of weeks as y'all get going. But what's your early thoughts on the talent on the roster next season and what type of team you guys can have?
Oh, I'm excited. It's going to be special. It seems like all these players want to win, and that's why they took the chance of coming to Tennessee. You look on the outside, losing so many players and only returning a handful of kids. You're going to take a chance, but I feel like we got one of the best recruiting coordinators in all of college baseball, and that's why the best players want to come play here.
Speaking of the best players wanting to come play at Tennessee, who have you already connected with at the Cape? And since you arrived here in Knoxville, the transfer portal class, is it returnee guys? Who have you already been able to really develop a relationship with and to get in you're excited to work with over the next several months?
Definitely Garrett Wright and Stone Wallace. They're both catchers, but I met Garrett at the Cape, and then I played with Stone last year in the Appy League, and we kind of just kept in contact. And ever since he heard I got the offer from Tennessee, we haven't stopped talking.
Speaking of, go ahead, Tyler.
Very good. It's just been like friendships. It's not going to go away forever.
Speaking of Garrett Wright, I mean, he's one of those guys that it was him and DJ Newman. Obviously, DJ Newman ends up going the MLB route. But what can you tell us about what you saw from Garrett and as a kind of an unknown and kind of someone that really intrigues a lot of all baseball fans? What have you already seen from him that has you excited about Garrett Wright and what he could be for Tennessee in 26?
Yeah, he hits the ball hard no matter what. Like I think he lined out to short and second when we played them this year, and they were probably 105 like liners, 4 foot off the ground, just right to him. Like you can't be mad about that, but like no matter what ball he hits, it's hit hard.
So you're a little concerned if you're at second here in scrimmage and Garrett Wright's up at the plate, is what I'm hearing.
Potentially, I might have to back up a little bit.
You have the scouting report. You'll have to give Ross and Ricky and all those guys the scouting report on how y'all need to shift them.
Oh yeah.
So when you also think about this offseason and the SEC grind, one of the things I think is so fascinating is, I mean, you saw last year Tennessee played a lot of freshmen and Manny Marin and Levi Clark and a whole lot of guys that there's a difference between that early portion of the season where you can really get comfortable and settle in. But then SEC play is just different. And now with roster limits and everything else, Tuesdays are going to be a whole lot different for Tennessee and other big-time programs here. Have you already talked to folks who've done this, who've been like, hey, there's going to be a gap coming where like you're going to be able, like you're going to have an opportunity to mash here early and really thrive, but like there is an SEC behemoth coming here and you need to prepare for it. Is there a way to do it, or is it just one of those things that you'll figure it out as you go?
I think it's one of those things that I'm just going to have to like figure out because it's new to me coming to this type of program. I'm not used to everything yet, but I think it's just one of the things that I got to go in here and do.
What do you think Walters State does so well that prepares guys like Ozuna and you and company to develop and star at the next level? What makes that baseball program so good at developing guys like you?
By far the coaching. Coach Shelton's great. He was hard on me as soon as I got on campus, and he explained that to me at an exit meeting why he was so hard on me because he saw the potential. He kind of like called my season early like a couple months before. He's like, I could see you putting up some good numbers this spring. I was like, golly, I hope so. And then like going into it, he was just so hard, and all of them just pushed me so good. And you know, sometimes it might come off wrong of what they're trying to say, but you just got to listen to the words and not the way they say it.
Tyler, when you think about just kind of your entire game at this point, what do you think when you read other people talk about Tyler Myatt transfer here and they talk about your skill set? What do you think is the most overlooked part of your game that Tennessee fans are going to be pleasantly surprised to see in person next year?
Definitely the competitive side more. You know, if you watch from the outside, I kind of just do my thing out there, but you know, I really want to win no matter what it is.
I love it.
I would say most of all definitely the defensive side. A lot of people hasn't get to see my defense yet, but I can move really well for my size. No matter where I'm playing at, and I'm going to go out there and compete and do my best.
Tyler, this has been great. We greatly appreciate you carving out some time. I know just getting acclimated to Knoxville this week, you got a whole lot going on here, and this fall and winter is going to be a whole lot of fun to monitor, to see a local star acclimate here for Tennessee baseball, what should be a special 2026 season. But we appreciate you stopping by here, right here on The Chase with Ryan and I, and we wish you luck here this offseason, and excited to see you in 26.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Tyler Myatt, new second baseman, DH, third baseman. Who knows where Tyler Myatt's going to fit in? But Tyler Myatt, you can tell he wants to play defense.
For sure.
Like that's one of those, and I understand that too, where it's more fun to play defense and also hit, right?
Yeah, and I think it's, you know, he talked about some of it and more on the hitting side. That's going to be a question mark that pro teams have about him, and you know, the only way to erase that question mark is to get out there and play in the field. He can certainly make himself a lot of money in the draft just by being a good hitter at Tennessee, but all the more by being a good defensive player every single day out there too.
Yeah, and I love his attitude. You can tell he's a team guy, where it's
If
he has to be a DH or he's second base, wherever, he just wants to play for Tennessee and have a great year. You can tell he wants to win a championship, and he's wired the right way and the competitive part of it. And I love that Garrett Wright little anecdote. Yeah. Like Garrett Wright, he's going to be hitting hard. And I mean, it's good that Garrett and him and Stone have that friendship, because Stone and Garrett are competing for catcher spots, right? This in 2026
for sure. You know, I think Garrett can play a couple other spots too, but yeah, I think that's the one that makes the most sense. It makes the most sense for competition. So it'll be interesting to see. I think I would say Garrett Wright and Bo Rudy are the two most underrated pieces of Tennessee's transfer class. So it was good hearing Tyler give some love to Garrett and what he's going to be able to bring to Tennessee.
And Walter State, man, quietly just putting
one of the best JUCO programs in the country, undoubtedly.
They're really, really good, and I hope we get the reverse karma from what Ozuna had to deal with last year, so that this year it's a worry-free year, and Tyler Myatt just mashes for Tennessee and puts Walter State on the map there.
Yeah, hopefully so.
I'm excited, man. Tyler Myatt, he mashed at Cape. Like he talked about, like hitting a home run in his first game at the Cape.
That'll calm the nerves.
Yes, that'll. I mean, because I imagine it's got to be intense, right? Like you're just only around superstars. Like you're just going up there for a bunch of guys who, you know, you have a bunch of scouts. You know, you have a bunch of big time competitors and guys who all want to go to the MLB draft. Like it's kind of like a mini all-star summer tournament.
For sure, I think it's all the more pressure for him, one, not having, you know, a lot of those guys have been good in the SEC or the ACC already, and two, he went out there so late in the summer. It wasn't like there was going to be no acclimation time. Like if he got off to a slow start, his numbers, he could have finished strong, but his numbers were not going to be great in the Cape Cod. Like he didn't have a week to work into things just from the time that he went out there. He only played in 10 games, so for him to I don't know, feed off that pressure is the right word, but to overcome that pressure and excel, I think is really impressive.
When we come back, we'll talk to Kevin Creasy of Oakland High School. We're going to get the lowdown on what to look out for with the Patriots and their title defense here in 2025 college ball or high school football season. It's back next week, so it's another big year for Oakland, and I'm excited to talk to Coach Creasy about his Patriots. So stick with us. It's The Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app.
Check out our new and improved website at fanrunradio.com.
Hey Knoxville, Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the volunteer state. Smoked daily by pitmaster Mark Rickard. The barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134. For directions and to look at the rest of the menu, visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Hello, is Tina there?
Who's this?
Yeah, this is Vince from the hit reality show Wives Don't Tell. Tina applied for our show to confess that her husband won't go to the doctor to get his erectile dysfunction checked. She said she's ready for a guy that can bring the heat.
All right, what the hell is going on? You know you're talking to her husband right now? Tina!
Well, she wrote the application that her man's performance is questionable. She's basically married to a coffee table. She also said, we live within driving distance to Men's Pro Knoxville, but he's too scared to get a blood test.
Oh my, she is done. She is so done.
Gotcha, Mike. It's Nephew Tommy. Ain't no reality show. It's a prank. Men's Pro Knoxville is the real deal, fellas. Local experts, test results in minutes. Call 865-544-8220 or hit menspronknoxville.com before your lady books a new co-star. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
Is your smile ready for the spotlight? Hi, I'm Dr. Jacob Wilco, and at Knoxville Smiles, we make every visit a reason to smile. From routine cleanings to dazzling cosmetic treatments, our experienced team uses the latest technology to keep your teeth healthy and your smile bright. With a warm, welcoming atmosphere and personalized care, we're here to make sure you leave feeling your best. Don't wait. Your perfect smile is just a call away. Book your appointment today at 865-539-1776 or online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
It's Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app. Special guest on the line. We've got Oakland head football coach Kevin Creasy on the line right now out of Murfreesboro. Coach, how is it going this afternoon?
Going good, man. Going good.
Good to hear it. Good to hear it. Does it feel like high school football season is back next week for you?
It does. We have our last scrimmage tomorrow, and like I said, we're ready to get this thing started, ready to get a little cooler weather.
I mean, it seems like we still got a ways to go there, Coach. I don't want to. I would love for us to be in football weather, but it feels like we got a little bit more to go. The rain's helping though this week. I don't know what it's like in Middle Tennessee, but over here we're getting a heck of a lot of rain.
Oh yeah, we got rain just in time for practice to start, and then it stopped, and so that made it for a little bit of a sauna feel. So yeah, it's been rough. It's been rough with the weather, but like I said, we're probably just right in the middle of it. It'll be a while before we cool down.
I love it. How has the offseason been for you coming off a state title? And one of the things I'm always most curious about from state champions is how do you get those guys animated to run it back? How do you keep them engaged? And like the process is not over. And it's one of those things where, hey, like we want to keep winning. We want to stay hungry. How do you approach staying hungry for your guys?
Yeah, we lost the state championship 2 years ago, so it was really easy to motivate those guys this past year. But now we're back to trying to maintain, our desire to get back to the state championship. We kind of got a motto in which we got to stay hungry, stay humble. And we remind them all the time that there are a lot of great players that graduated. And, the state champion team is last year's team. So anybody that, is getting up for us, they're getting up to play the state champs. Well, that was last year's team. So we're going to get everybody's best effort. We're going to get everybody's best shot. So we got to understand that. And then, like I said, stay humble, stay hungry, and just get, going, doing what got us here. And that's, working hard and practicing hard and trying to correct all our mistakes.
Coach Ryan here, one of the guys that helped you all win that state championship last year, now up in Knoxville, Dewan Morris. What should Vol fans know about Dewan, and what about his game projects well to the SEC?
Well, he's a tremendous player, great kid, loves to compete. If you put any competitive drill out there, he's going to get in it, and he's going to give it his best shot. Like I said, he's just all about competition. We had him as a junior on our kickoff team and had several return for touchdowns, and he had an injury, so we were trying to take him off the kickoff team, and then in the playoffs we had another injury and stuck him in a tie ball game, and his only return of the year last year, he caught over the top of his head to keep it from being a touchback, as that's rule in high school. Yeah. And he went 99 yards for a touchdown. So he's a great return guy. I hear that Tennessee is loving that as far as his special teams, but he's a running back that can block, he can catch out of the backfield, and of course he has great moves and great vision. So he's really a triple threat when it comes to playing the running back position.
Kevin Creasy, head football coach of Oakland, is our guest here, presented by SM Athletics. SM Athletics team is dedicated to delivering the highest quality custom athletics uniforms and unparalleled customer service and reliable products tailored to you and your specific requirements. Contact the good folks over at SM Athletics today to discover the next generation of athletic wear and experience the difference for yourself. Coach, we talked about Dewan Morris there and why we're all excited to see what he can ultimately turn into over the next couple years at Tennessee. Joel Wyatt on the flip side, what have you already gotten from him, the Tennessee top 50 commit, big-time athlete coming in late this summer from Webb? What have you already seen from Joel Wyatt that's jumped off the page to you?
Yeah, he's got so much God-given ability and talent and size and strength. I think he's got a 86-inch wingspan. So, if our quarterbacks can just get it around him, he's going to catch the ball, and then we throw him over there on defense, and he's catching a lot of balls too. So we're trying not to throw it to him, and he's picking a lot of passes off. So he's playing a lot of different positions. So he's kind of drinking out of a water hose right now, trying to learn all these different spots to play. And, it's a lot coming into the program as a senior, trying to learn basically a new language in just a couple months. And so right now we're just noticing that there's, got to be a way that we get him on the field on both sides of the ball, because we usually go with guys just playing one side, but he's such a talent. Like I said, 6'4", huge wingspan, can jump out of the roof, about 36-inch vertical. We've got to find ways to get him on the field, and as coaches, we got to kind of keep it simple here at first, and then by the time the playoffs roll around, this guy will be a well-oiled machine.
You mentioned a lot of it there with his ability to play multiple positions. It feels like even for someone that the recruiting services call an athlete, his recruitment was very unique in the number of positions that were mentioned that he could potentially play at the next level, between, I think, ranging from receiver to defensive end. It feels like safety is kind of where he's going to start at Tennessee. In your brief time with him, what about his skill set makes you think that safety is a good spot for him at the next level?
Yeah, a lot of times guys are putting those long, tall guys up near the line of scrimmage. Well, he plays really well up near the line of scrimmage, but he also plays really well on the back end. So somebody with his speed and his length, they're going to be good wherever you put them. So I completely understand why people had a hard time recruiting him, because they didn't know exactly what position he was going to play in college. But those guys in college get paid a lot of money, so hopefully they can get it figured out. This dude's such a talent, and he's so athletic. He's going to be able to play somewhere. For Tennessee, they're going to, I'm sure, start him at safety. And for a guy that's 6'4" to be playing safety, the best attribute I can say about him playing safety is he doesn't tackle like a DB. He's physical, and he doesn't mind being physical. And, a lot of times DBs, they don't get the credit they deserve whenever they're coming down in the box and making tackles. But he's the kind of guy that, he can play deep, he can play in coverage, he can play man-to-man, but he also can screw down into the box and make a lot of tackles like a linebacker.
Knowing what you know, how the season unfolded for your Patriots and your state title run last year, Coach, what's one thing you would go back and tell yourself prior to week 1 of the 24 season?
Well, the crazy part is DeJuan Morris for us got hurt on the first play of the season. So that made us rely on a whole lot more people than just DeJuan. So that's where we had the emergence of a few more players. So I guess I would just say, remain calm, even though your best guy on the team got hurt first play of the season. It's going to make him fresh for the playoffs, which he was. And then everyone else is having to step up, and they're going to. And so it was a little stressful, like I said, thinking DeJuan's probably going to be, a shoe-in candidate for, Blue Cross Bowl MVP or the Mr. Football Award and all that. So after one play, he was hurt. And so that threw us for a key, but it did make other people step up. And now a lot of those guys are back, and so they've been given valuable experience, valuable playing time. So it has a way of working itself out.
What's the biggest difference between this year's team and last year's team for Patriots fans who are going to see them this fall?
Last year, our quarterback was an experienced guy, played 30 games and, lived with the offense coordinator, me, my son. So he was the quarterback and, knew the offense inside and out. We've got 2 new quarterbacks that are battling it out, and it'll be their first year starting for us. And, they're just trying to capture all of the offense and understand the role of everybody on the field. And that's the thing about Kyler. He was a good field general, getting people lined up, reminding them what they had, understanding the finer points of the offense. And so we just got to get our younger, inexperienced quarterbacks to do that. And if they do it, we'll be fine. If not, we're going to have a slow start for sure.
When you think about the biggest position battles this spring and summer, have they all been kind of settled? Do you kind of know where things stand? You're too deep, or are there still some battles that you're interested in seeing play out here over the next couple of days for your team?
Well, we base out of like a 3 running back set. That's our base, and we've got 3 really good ones. But then, some of our best stuff is whenever we spread people out and we only have 1 back. So the running back room is pretty full. So there's always a constant battle on who's going to be the one guy whenever we go into that set. And, a lot of our snaps now are with 1 running back. So we got to figure that out. And that's made for great competition. We've got 3 or 4 really talented running backs that are battling it out. And so we like challenge those guys every day. And, we let the hot hand play. We've had 2 scrimmages and so far so good. We keep putting the hot hand in as far as the running backs, and they've made some tremendous plays so far.
I love to hear it. I mean, when you think about also just kind of the running game and that by committee approach, is that something where you still think it's going to be ultimately like that's going to be the defining characteristic of your team, or do you think it's going to be more spread out offensively this year?
Well, I think it makes for a team to have good depth. I think that's huge whenever you have so many different guys that are able to be plugged in. And so a Craig Tutt, who's one of our better defensive players, and he's also one of our best running backs. When he needs a break, we can put somebody in and never miss a beat. So right now we have some tremendous quarterbacks that can throw it around. So we want to try to be a balanced offense and spread the wealth and, get the ball around to our playmakers. And that's what our plan's always been. So if it means we got to hand it to them, we'll hand it to them. If we can throw it to them, even better. But ultimately, we're going to put the guys that can make plays on the field.
One of the best playoff rivalries here in Tennessee at the prep level is Oakland versus Maryville. What have you seen from Maryville the last couple cycles here, and what makes that playoff rivalry so special when you guys get matched up together in the playoffs?
Well, we have so much respect for Maryville, and they've done such a great job over the years, and absolutely gave us our toughest game last year. We're down at halftime at our place to Maryville, and we come from behind. Again, Craig Tutt makes a couple big plays for us. They did a good job of stopping DeJuan Morris. And so we were kind of having a little hard time moving the ball. And, ultimately it came down to one or two plays, but that's what it usually comes down to when it's us and Maryville. And, the home team usually has an advantage. I think every time but once the home team has won in our rivalry. So this year, the way the playoffs fall, if we run into each other week 4 like we've done, I think 11 out of the last 12 years, then it's going to be at Maryville. So that's a tough place to win at, and they're always going to be well coached, and they got so much pride of defending their home turf. It'd be one of those instant classics.
We'll get you out of here on this, Coach. Do you like the new playoff format coming into high school football this season for Tennessee?
I think it's okay. I can't wait to see how it all kind of unfolds. We kind of put pencil to paper, and we would have still played the same opponent week 1 that we had, but ultimately it would have changed things up. Last year we played a heck of a Mount Juliet team week 2 and almost got beat week 2 of the playoffs. We were down 10 at halftime to those guys. So, it seemed like we were having a hard time getting rewarded for winning our region when we would turn right back around and play a Riverdale week 3 after we just played them, 3 weeks earlier to end the season week 10. So hopefully, our region can get spread out and some people will go through what we've gone through. And that's, having to see a Blackman or a Riverdale or an Oakland, early rounds of the playoffs. And so that's a tough deal for anybody. And, I think it's going to be interesting to see how the changes affect everybody in the playoffs this year.
I love it. Kevin Creasy, I appreciate you making the time here today. How do the good folks support Oakland Patriot football this fall?
Well, we have a scrimmage tomorrow. Anybody in Middle Tennessee wants to come by and watch us. We're scrimmaging at Vanderbilt Stadium. And so we've got a big scrimmage with Clarksville High, who went 10-1 last year. So it should be a good event. And, come on by and watch us. It's a little preseason jamboree type deal at 6 o'clock Central Time. And, of course, we'd love to see week 1 play when we're hosting CPA. It's going to be a great game as well.
I love it. Good luck this season, Coach. Thank you for making the time, and we'll have to check back in again soon.
All right. Thank y'all.
Kevin Creasy, head football coach of the Oakland Patriot Powerhouse here in Middle Tennessee. Great stuff from Kevin. Brought to you by the good folks over at SM Athletics. Go visit smathletics.com if you have not already for all your custom apparel needs. All of our prep coverage here. Go over and check out smathletics.com for more information there. When we come back, we'll continue on our Tennessee football conversation. We're talking about ESPN and their best bet with Tennessee in that 8.5 over/under. We'll react to the news that Tennessee officially going over to Adidas and what to make of that here in 2026 and beyond. Stick with us. Ryan Shumpert of Rocket Type Insider in studio with us on a rainy Wednesday here in Knoxville, Tennessee. It's The Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app.
Follow us on Twitter or X or whatever the they're calling it these days at Fox Sports Knox, Fox Sports Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Hey, folks, if you're in need of a lawyer, you need to call my friend Jerry Givens. I've known Jerry since high school and can personally vouch for him. He's East Tennessee through and through, and if you're going through a divorce, bankruptcy, or a DUI case, you'll need someone you can trust on your side to help you navigate the local legal system. You can trust Jerry Givens. Call the law offices of Jerry Givens today at 865-801-9250 to schedule your free consultation. That's 801-9250.
Ready to launch your career? Axel Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axel proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axel, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axel Logistics is the place to start your career.
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Got a flat tire? Strange noise under the hood? Don't stress. Roll into Matlock Tire and Auto Service. From oil changes and brake repairs to brand new tires, Matlock's certified techs do it all. Fast, friendly, and fair priced, Matlock is the home of the price match guarantee. Bring in any competitor's ad and Matlock will match the exact same tire for the exact same price. Matlock Tire and Auto Service, 5 locations in East Tennessee. Visit matlocktireservice.com to find the location nearest you and schedule your appointment.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
White Claw is taking hard seltzer to new heights with White Claw Surge. At 8% alcohol, White Claw Surge is a stronger wave of refreshment that doesn't compromise on taste. Available in 4 bold waves of flavor like ripe blackberry, citrusy blood orange, zesty natural lime, and tart cranberry. Check out your favorite retailer in-store and online for the White Claw Surge Variety 12-pack and 16-ounce single-serve cans. White Claw Surge. Please drink responsibly.
Filled with deadlines and screens, sometimes we forget the simple joys of life. Days filled with special moments. At Inward Half, we understand the essence of these moments. Feel the difference between our breathable fabrics and flexible apparel as you disconnect from the hustle and bustle and reconnect with what truly matters. Inward Half. Simple luxury for on and off the course.
We really need to get some branded stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess. But isn't that how everyone does it now?
Not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah, they specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
It's the
Chase. Live 1 to 3 Monday through Friday on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville. Listen to Chase and his friends on WKG. It's the Chase. It's the Scruffy City. Listen to his friends, and his friends are on WKGN. I'm always taking your calls on the Tennessee Vols. It's the Chase. It's the Chase. It's the Chase.
It's Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app. Ryan Shumpert, Rocky Top Insider, in studio with us here for hour number 2. Matt Bailey on the ones and twos. It's official as we kick off hour number 2. Tennessee going to Adidas in 2026. Been rumored, first reported here by the good folks over here at Fox Sports Knoxville back in mid-May. Ryan Shumpert, now that it is official, what is your immediate reaction to it being out there? Does it move the needle for you? Is it a big deal? Should Tennessee fans really be panicking and be up in arms about going from Nike to Adidas in 26?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of wait and see. I don't think panic necessarily. Look, I think, and the official numbers aren't out there, but when you start to see some of the numbers that were rumored about the differences in the Adidas and Nike offers, it's hard to blame Danny White and his staff for deciding that it was the right move to go to Adidas. I know the talk from people at Tennessee has been about keeping the UT creative and design of the jerseys and putting a lot of emphasis on getting the jerseys right, which I think most everybody would agree that Adidas did not get the jerseys right, at least the tail end of the last 20-year stint that they were Tennessee's official supplier. So I think it's wait and see on that front. I think they'll get football right. Basketball is what worries me, if I'm being honest. Because Nike's basketball jerseys for Tennessee have been awesome. They've done such a great job with them. Adidas basketball jerseys, they have a lot of bad ones.
Who comes to mind in the basketball front?
Louisville's worn a lot of bad ones.
Louisville is bad. Texas A&M has the worst. That last year,
the gray ones.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh yes, and even Texas A&M's normal ones I don't think are great. Mississippi State, I don't think their basketball uniforms are very good. So when you just talk about it in general, like, sure, Adidas is capable of messing up Tennessee's football jerseys. We have seen them do it before. But I think when you talk about the role Tennessee's going to have in things, how important Tennessee is now as a brand to Adidas, and the fact that Tennessee's football jerseys are pretty simple and traditional, I think they will get them mostly right. The basketball jerseys, Tennessee doesn't have the tradition, and I'll tell you, the Tennessee basketball jerseys that they wore in like the Konzo and Donnie Tyndall years to end it that were Adidas, the last Adidas jerseys were truly horrific.
I do think they've come a long way, though, right? Like Kansas, you have not noticed the difference between the Kansas Adidas uniforms and anything else, right? Like Kansas is an Adidas school, and they look great.
And that's to the point of, like, I'm sure Kansas gets in basketball the A+ treatment.
Yeah.
Which is what Tennessee is going to be getting.
And that's why I would calm the fears there. But I do agree that of the three, that worries me the most in terms of what uniforms might be who might be the biggest loser in terms of Tennessee actual athletic uniforms. It's definitely basketball. But I do think baseball could have an upgrade here, man. I hope we get back my 90s away gray and black uniforms with that old UT logo. If we can get that back, get rid of the pajama smoky grays, and let's go back to that. If we can get that, huge win. I'm already all in there.
Yeah, baseball, Adidas, I think, does a sneaky pretty good job. Some of it's hard to tell because, like, when it comes to mind, when I think of the Adidas teams in baseball that I really like their uniforms, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Miami.
Yeah.
A lot of those are just like the traditional uniforms that Mississippi State and Miami have worn, and they have just not a lot of creative liberty. Just roll with those, make those. So, it's not a whole lot of work. But, Kansas baseball uniforms I think are pretty good too. That's one that's not a traditional brand. Louisville's are okay, a little hit or miss. I don't love them. So, I think we hopefully get rid of the smoky gray baseball uniforms on the road, which I hate. We're in agreement on that. Give me some black outlines. Give me the black outlines for Tennessee baseball. Give me the black outlines of the numbers on the Tennessee football away uniforms.
I'm glad you brought up the black outlines, because on the football front, there has not been a more important development than bringing back the black outlines on the Stormtrooper uniforms, Matt Bailey. Because when you think about the pinnacle of Tennessee football, you think black outlines on the Stormtrooper uniforms. Stormtrooper uniforms are great, but it's missing one key ingredient, and that is
take away the orange collar and put the black outlines.
And it's perfect. What do you think?
I don't know. I wasn't around for the black outlines.
I mean, you've seen them.
I've seen them. I've seen them. I can compare, but
which do you prefer?
I don't know. I think the ones that we have now are kind of clean. I think the black outlines, like, yes, it's like a classic kind of like nostalgia factor in some cases, but and maybe that's, you know, whenever Tennessee football was great, like you had the black outlines, but I kind of think they look clean without it.
I think the name also looks better with the black outline around the name, but I also think Tennessee wears those black cleats with the Stormtrooper uniform so much now that I'm like, if you're going to do the black cleats with it, you got to have the black outlines on the numbers too, because the black cleats throw the whole thing off, and it drives me nuts when they do it. This is super in the weeds. Shout out to Chad Fields on X about this, because it's like I'm a big NFL uniform aesthetic follower and all that stuff. I love a good uniform discourse, but I do think the black aesthetic, if you're going to have the black cleats permeate through those Stormtrooper uniforms a lot. I think they wore them at Alabama 2 years ago. I want to say they've worn them at Kentucky, if that memory serves.
Yeah, it sounds right.
I want to say did they wear them at, they either wore them at Oklahoma or at Arkansas. I don't remember which one, but they did have the black cleats there too. So if you're going to do the black cleats, you need to have the black outlines in the numbers, because if not, then you need to have orange or white cleats, because that always drives me nuts in the broadcast. I'm like, it just looks odd.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think even with the black outlines, you can still wear white cleats. Like, that doesn't take it away. I do agree with you, Matt. That, like, I think the current look is cleaner, but I almost think I like the black outlines almost just because it gives, like, I don't know, it gives a little bit of, I don't know if grit's the right word. It gives it something a little bit unique compared to just like the Stormtrooper uniforms that everybody wears.
Yeah. And I also just think here, the baseball uniforms part of it, sneaky, potentially huge winners here, because that if we're gonna, the dark mode stuff, big hit, and they had dark mode uniforms back in the day with the Adidas. I'm looking at the old one here. I don't love the old Vols logo they were using with that script. It's not my favorite, but some vintage Tennessee Adidas baseball uniforms with this powerhouse group, phenomenal. I hope we get, because like you said, Ryan, Adidas has done a great job with baseball uniforms. And we talked about last year, Tennessee didn't even use all the new uniforms they got here from Nike in 2025. So I'm excited that they're going to be able, I'm worried what this might mean for the Creams, that do they stick around here in the Adidas era? What does that look like? But by and large, I think if you're a Tennessee baseball fan, you're excited about Adidas there. I think football, they're just not going to get messed with. Like, I think football, by and large, is going to look mostly the same with some changes. Maybe the smoky gray, you get some changes. Maybe the away uniforms, you see some changes.
I think you start to see more of a pivot away from smoky gray and towards black.
Okay. I mean, that probably would appease most fans, right? We've done a pretty good, like, we've done the smoky gray for a long time now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and it's probably a welcome change for Rick Barnes, right? Like, we have still not seen the smoky grays return for Tennessee basketball.
Well, they wore them once early in Rick Barnes' tenure, and they got smoked against South Carolina. And he was like, "We're never wearing these uniforms again." It's a great correlation of this is why we lost, was the uniforms. So, no, you're right. Again, the basketball makes me a little bit nervous. Football, I just think it's, I don't know. It's wait to see, but I'm not overly concerned about it.
It's gonna be good, and we'll see what the numbers are, right, and how it affects the athletic department, that sort of thing.
Yes, yeah, I think that part's big, and that, that's why this is being done. And look, anybody that listens to me a lot knows that I can be an old man with some of these takes, and not a fan. I love making fun of the summit at Thompson Bowling Arena at Food City Center. It's absolutely ridiculous. I love to poke at Danny White and his money grabbing, but this one, I just think it makes too much sense with how big of the difference it is. So one other take on it. I'm curious. Tennessee basketball court. I really dislike the Tennessee block letters that have been key with Nike. Can we get a different mid-court logo, and maybe ideally some old school ones with the state outline of the T and then the Vols? The problem with that is you got to have Lady Vols too. So that's a little bit trickier, but I'm curious to see if we get a new mid-court logo now, because I really don't like the block lettering that they have now.
Yeah, and when you look at the old school basketball court with the Vols and the state of Tennessee right there, that is definitely a cooler look. But to your point, like, I don't have a problem. I've never watched Tennessee, like, you could see it go the other way, right? Where Georgia's new court is horrific.
Yeah, terrible.
Just an absolute F all around. Those games are terrible. I would also argue Memphis is terrible.
Yeah.
Memphis, like, that is a terrible looking court. And one of the weird ones I actually do like, I didn't think I would like, is Oregon's, which looks like a safari almost. I don't hate it. Like, for whatever reason, it's not crazy dark. It kind of, I don't know. It for whatever reason works for me. But to your point, I kind of want something like Kansas has, like you said. Like, I want a gigantic, like Tennessee, the state of Tennessee with Vols, or some kind of the power tee or something in the middle of court to really take up a lot of real estate. No power tee?
No, I think that would look terrible.
Okay.
I would.
Do you throw Smokey in there?
Angry Smokey in midcourt, maybe?
I don't think a lot of ball fans would be. I don't think they're in on that.
No, I'm not either. I would be out on Nike, or I'd be out on Adidas, just even though I'm not even sure I'd be Adidas call, just solely based on that.
Speaking of,
people would be deserved to get fired for that.
Speaking of, we also haven't even heard Smokey. We're 17 days out. Are we getting Smokey updates anytime soon?
I don't know. Sylvia and Caleb and myself were talking about this after practice the other day. That do you have to make a move? Do you have to change Smokey if Smokey's not ready to go this season?
Yes, 100%. Because the broadcast, I don't know if you notice it, Matt, but they're not the same. Like, Smokey not being around, these Tennessee broadcasts are bizarre. Because it feels like we're pretending Smokey doesn't exist and that Smokey has just been relegated at like a forgotten. It's like a written out cast member, your favorite TV show, where you're like, whatever happened, they just don't address it. Like
Mark Brendanowitz.
Yeah, like the Family Matters sister at one point who just disappears, and you're like, there used to be another family member here at one point, and it's like there used to be Smokey on every broadcast, and he's not there anymore, and you don't have him running in the end zone. You miss it, I guess, more if you're at the game. On the broadcast, though, it's bizarre, especially when you open the game and there's no Smokey yelling and howling, I should say. It's just really bizarre. So yes, 100%. You got to make a move. Like we're so wrapped up in fall camp with QB battle, wide receiver battle. Do you know what I want to hear about? There's no scuttle. I want the inside scoop. Is there a fall camp battle for Smokey?
On that note, I'm so glad this is what sparked the conversation the other day. So Tennessee, it was rainy on Tuesday. So the entire practice, at least it was open to us, was all inside.
Mm-hmm.
So inside the Anderson Training Center where they have the turf field, there's like a level up and there's glass basically all around the 3/4 of the way around the field. And like, it's just like, offices up there. And there are people, this is bad radio. They are like strutting around with these really uncomfortable runs, like flapping their arms in the air, like just running around up there. And I was mesmerized by it. I stopped watching practice for like 2 minutes and had to go find someone. I was like, what in the world is going on? And they're like, they're Smokies. They are the Smokey mascot, not obviously, in the costume, and they are practicing.
Wait, you're saying they were in the costume Smokey?
They were the costume Smokies, but they weren't in the costumes, which made it so absurd.
Oh.
It was like they were running and strutting around like the costume Smokey would be, but they weren't wearing the costumes, and there were like 12 of them.
That's a little jarring.
Yeah, it was insane. It had a similar effect to like the first time you see Purdue's mascot with the massive head and the shorts, or the Providence Friar, where it's jarring.
Yeah. That's a weird one to prep for, especially like you said, without the mascot gear on.
Yes. If they had the gear on, it would have just kind of been funny. But the fact that they didn't have the gear on, it was just like, what in the world is going on?
That's like I think you should leave skit right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those two where, look, I don't want to shift the conversation away from Adidas, Matt Bailey, but there is something that I'm glad we got closure on this. At least we know where we're headed here in 2026. But I need to know where we're headed with Smokey in 2025. It's a big part of the deal here, and you got to make a move. You can't we can't be on the fence here about Smokey for another full season. So I don't know. Call us 865-966-3435. You got the inside scoop on what's going on with Smokey going into this year. But I don't know. Do you bring the old one out of retirement and be like, hey, until you're ready to go, we gotta get the veteran back in here? Do we Joe Flacco it, where it's like you got to make the call and just have a vet, a bridge Smokey?
I think it's too far. I think it's too far gone.
Why did they do that last year, where it's like you knew that it was at that point? I don't know. I would love the insight. I would do a deep dive on this conversation, because it's an under talked about point, but it's also got to be frustrating because you don't know how these dogs are going to react until you get them in the 100,000.
To get them in fire. Like, you throw the dogs in the fire.
Well, no, you put them in the
figuratively, of course.
Wow. No.
Figuratively, yes.
And figuratively, sure. Would never put it that way, but all right. Completely just off the rails here, and you're killing Matt Bailey over there on that side of the glass.
Throw him in the deep end. Sink or
swim. Toss him into a wave pool. Deep into a wave pool at Smoky Mountain.
We just need. I would love a Netflix documentary just on this. Like, we have this new SEC documentary. You know what I want? I want a Tennessee Smoky summer documentary on how they're getting him ready for this upcoming season, or have a fall camp where it's multiple Smokies getting ready, because we want to get to the bottom of this. We want to find out what is going on with Smoky going into this year.
Ryan is just taking now if I'm writing a feature on it, being like Smoky 12 declined to comment for a story.
You also just don't know. It's just, what's funny is you could like change out the like Jake Merkling or Joey Aguilar for some, and you could have like some of the same kind of quotes where it's like, we just don't know what he's gonna look like till he gets out.
You gotta go out and earn it.
Get Josh Heupel to comment on it.
We're not naming a Smoky today, okay? We haven't even watched tape yet.
We could have an or, like, the depth chart ors. We could have that. But have their real names, because they're all names aren't Smoky. So you just have Buck or Hershey or like Winston.
Snap and clear, spot the ball, a line assign, technique, play in space.
Just a real coach on the field.
Yep, player coach.
He was able to block out the noise better than others.
Yep,
you can just tell. Like, you get a Smoky transfer. Like, we bring in one from like Virginia, where it's like there is a blue tick hound we found in West Virginia. We're like, hey, we think he's a plug and play 1 year guy.
Real veteran out here.
How would going to the transfer portal for Smoky affect the NIL budget of the football program, though? And is it just a football season rental, or is this a multi-sport athlete?
You have the conversation where it's like he showed up in football, but basketball and arena, he was not the same. He wasn't as locked in on the basketball front. He didn't like being indoors. He's an outdoor Smoky. Great stuff. Just completely off the rails here, but these are the questions that we would like to answer here on the Chase. When we come back, we'll talk about ESPN and what they think about Tennessee, that ESPN best bet 8.5 over under, and why ESPN is taking the over right now with a certain writer. And we'll talk about Mike Matthews and that jump they're also predicting. So a whole lot of ESPN Tennessee Vols buzz here on a Wednesday. Stick with us, The Chase, right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app.
Catch up with all things Fan Run by subscribing to our podcast feed. Like, rate, and download the show from the Fan Run app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, is Tina there?
Who's this?
Yeah, this is Vince from the hit reality show Wives Don't Tell. Tina applied for our show to confess that her husband won't go to the doctor to get his erectile dysfunction checked. She said she's ready for a guy that can bring the heat.
All right, what the is going on? You're talking to her husband right now? Tina!
Well, she wrote the application that her man's performance is questionable. She's basically married to a coffee table. She also said, we live within driving distance to Men's Pro Knoxville, but he's too scared to get a blood test.
Oh my, she is done. She is so done.
Got you, Mike. It's nephew Tommy. Ain't no reality show. It's a prank. Men's Pro Knoxville is the real deal, fellas. Local experts, test results in minutes. Call 865-544-8220 or hit men'spro-knoxville.com before your lady books a new co-star. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
Believe in family. Believe in your fellow man. Believe in honesty and an honest day's work. We do. We're Farm Bureau Insurance. And we don't just believe in Tennessee. We believe in Tennesseans. Farm Bureau Insurance. Tennessee's insurance company.
This is Baseball VFL Cody Brown. Farm Bureau Insurance is the official insurance for Tennesseans. Believe in me for all of your insurance needs. Give me a call at 865-992-3871.
Ready to launch your career? Axle Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axle proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axle, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axle Logistics is the place to start your career.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Citizens National Bank. You want a bank that lets you bank when and where you want to. Your local branch, the grocery store, your computer, your phone, it's up to you. You want people who care about taking care of you and your money too. Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Here to continue on this radio program. Thank you for sticking with us. You can join the show. 865-966-3435 is the way to call or text us. 865-966-3435 is the way to jump in. You can also watch us over there on our YouTube channel, growing more and more, nearly at 1,500 subs. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video, join in the comment section if you have not already done so. Streaming 1 to 3 Monday through Friday right here on The Chase. It was great to have Tyler Myatt, Tennessee baseball transfer, coming in, JUCO Player of the Year in hour number 1. We also had Kevin Creasy of Oakland to talk about his Oakland Patriots here in 2024 or 2025, excuse me, and what to make of the state champion in 2024 Oakland Patriots and all that good stuff. So you can go back and revisit on our free Fan Run Radio app later today, or you can also listen on Apple, Spotify, or however you get your podcasts. You can find this hour 1 right there as well. Ryan Shepard, Breakout Insider, in studio with us. We continue on here. Ryan, Mike Matthews buzz. It's continuing here on ESPN right now when they were doing their ESPN Best Bets and also talking about where Mike is. One of the things that they wrote over there on ESPN.com today in terms of their breakout performers here across college football, what they wrote about Mike and or Braylon, quote, "Yes, we are hedging our bet with this pick. We expect Matthews or Staley to break out this year as a top SEC receiver. Who that will be depends on who stays healthy, as both have been injury prone. This wide receiver room needs to produce for the Vols to return to the college football playoff." When you read that sentence, what say you, Ryan Shumpert?
Yeah, I see how they get to that conclusion. Like, it just opportunity is there. It's one of those two guys are going to start if they are healthy. Obviously, I think they make a good point that the injury concern is a real one, especially with how fall camp has gone. I think expedites that concern a bit. So, yeah, I definitely see if you're talking about what sophomores across the country could have big breakout seasons, you just look at the opportunity in it. The recruiting rankings, the stars beside those two's names, and you say, yeah, they're obvious candidates. Now the key is for them to go out there and prove it on the fall, and I don't think either of them, in part because of injury, have had the fall camp that you would necessarily want to hear from them to feel super confident that they're going to take that step, which is why I think best receiver in the SEC I don't necessarily see, but or one of the best receivers in the SEC I don't necessarily see, but you hope those guys can, at least one of them can be pushing for, some sort of all SEC honors, even if that's just like a third team.
Yeah, and the thing about this is and or between Braylon and Mike. I agree. Like, I will be very surprised this year if one of Mike or Braylon does not break out. I think they both have that talent. 2 top 15 receivers in their class in 2024. Super high on both, but I don't think it. And this was part of like when you don't want to beat a dead horse here when it comes to the wide receiver offseason conversation. But I do think this goes back to what we said all offseason, which was I think it's a fair expectation to expect one of those guys to break out in 2025 with an increased workload. I think betting on both of those guys having a breakout year simultaneously, along with the uncertainty of what kind of consistency you're going to get from Chris Brazzell II for his second year in the system, that you had to go out and get another receiver to push one of those two. And just in case, like you go out and you get an insurance policy on if one of those two guys are A, not healthy, or B, aren't able to take that jump. But I do agree with the assessment from ESPN that I think it's a good bet to bet on one of Mike or Braylon to break out. I would just be very surprised if it's both. And I don't think that's a fair ask to put that on both, especially with all the issues with what happened at quarterback, with all the changes in the offense. Like, I don't even think that's fair at all to place that kind of amount of pressure on both of them as redshirt freshmen. But I think it'd be a surprise to me here as we sit on August 13th that one of Mike Matthews or Braylon Staley do not break out as one of the better receivers in the SEC this year.
Yeah, I guess like how we had this exact same conversation the other night in the podcast, just different position. How would you define breakout when it comes to these guys?
I would say breakout for Mike would be what we saw with Cedric in 2021 a little bit, where Cedric, a lot of people went in, just did not think Cedric Tillman was going to be a go-to guy for Hendon Hooker. Like, he was just kind of an afterthought, lanky, tall, big receiver. But
he had like 8 career catches at that point,
right?
I think.
And I think that's kind of where Mike is, where Mike has the kind of talent and comes in with a higher pedigree than Ced. But what I do think is different with him is I think he's one of those guys who is going to get an opportunity to get force fed. Because I think Brazel, you're not going to have that level of consistency where he's going to get a bunch of targets. I think Braylon, with where he's at, the injury bug right here, it seems unlikely he gets force fed early. I just think Mike's going to get a bunch of opportunities. Like, I think when we look at the targets early this year, I think Mike is just going to get kind of not spammed, but force fed the ball and force fed opportunities. And we saw that go up and get it ability against Kent State with one of my favorite touchdown catches of the year last year, where
it's a sad bar to the Kent State touchdown.
But I mean, it was a great play. Like, he made a great play.
Sure.
And I
caught it from Gaston Moore in the second half of the game against Kent State.
The point being, it was an impressive play, an impressive show of athleticism from Mike. And I think Mike has that ability to become that breakout guy on the outside, where if he's a yak potential guy, and there aren't many of those in this roster. So to me, I look at Mike as the safer breakout in terms of, like, if he gets Cedric Tillman 2021, and then he built, and you can feel like 2026 is like, oh, he can become a star in this league, kind of like where Cedric Tillman was going into in 2022, where you had did he have like 22 targets in that Pitt game? I want to say in
18,
22,
I think.
Yeah, like just crazy amount of targets. I'm not saying he's going to get 18 targets in the opener next year if you're Mike Matthews, but I do think that opportunity is there for him this year in particular, where I think a breakout year is if we come to the end of the year and we're like, that felt like a little bit like Cedric Tillman in 2021 in terms of targets, comfortability with the downfield attack from Joey Aguilar and company, where I think they're going to throw it up for him. Like, I think Mike is going to have the best chance of any of these receivers to break out this year.
Yeah, I think he's got the best chance for sure. I think Staley, you'd almost give one of the lesser chances just from the standpoint of he's going to be the guy that gets bumped off the field when Tennessee plays 12 personnel, which I think we both think Tennessee's going to play a lot of. So, yeah, look, I'm not to that point on it. Like, Cedric Tillman had 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns in 2021. He was truly one of the best receivers in the SEC in 2021. I have a hard time thinking Mike Matthews is going to get there this season. Not all of that's on him. Some of that's on just my lack of confidence in Tennessee's passing game, my lack of confidence in Tennessee's quarterback play entering the season to truly feel like he's going to be able to put up that type of numbers. But yeah, I'm with you that he's the most likely one, and he would be my bet to have, the best statistical season of Tennessee's receivers. 800 yards for Mike Matthews. Would you sign up for that right now?
Is that number one on Tennessee this year?
I mean, sure. Well, no, for the sake of the question, but we both think he's going to lead Tennessee in receiving yards. So
I'm more curious what his yards per reception is. Is that a cop-out? Like, I actually kind of care less about the total yardage. And
you think he's going to get a lot of targets.
Yeah.
And so he's going to get a lot of targets. I don't think his yards, he's going to have a lot of yards if his yards per catch are high, if he's getting a lot of targets.
Well, the reason I bring that up is because
the big play aspect, Dante Thornton that they need.
That's my thing. It's like, that's the bigger replacement of this Tennessee team. You saw the difference in Tennessee's explosion in the passing game last year. You can look at all their losses. Like, the losses were just no Dante Thornton. Either he wasn't available or he did not get any run. Like, you look at Georgia. I don't think he had a catch in the Georgia game.
He had the brutal drop in the second quarter of that game.
Yes. And obviously nothing in the Ohio State game. And that showed up in a big way. He only had one catch in the Arkansas game. The Arkansas lost. Yeah. So it's just one of those. And he kind of saved you against Vanderbilt when you go down 14-0 early. And he had that yak ability that I think Mike has the best potential of filling at that outside spot where he'll occupy where Dante Thornton was a year ago. to me, that's my bigger thing. So, I mean, Dante Thornton led all of FBS in yards per reception last season with 24.4 per catch. But I'm not expecting 25.4 yards per reception for Mike. But do I think Mike needs to have a high yards per reception for Tennessee's explosive offense, or to maybe save Tennessee in some key games this year? Yes.
I don't think
I
that's
care about
gonna
the yards per reception.
I don't think it's less about yards per reception. I think it's more about the catches of 30-plus yards he has. I think that's a better way of putting it.
Through the air. You're not talking about like he gets it and then like maybe a 10-yard out.
He can get it and take it 30 yards. I mean, how many of those Dante Thornton catches last year?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. I was just clarifying which one you're saying. Like
either. It doesn't. Okay. Catches where he catches the ball and Tennessee gains 30 yards on the play.
Those are
what? How many did Dante Thornton? I mean, do you think just spitballing he had last year?
Over 30 yards on just the reception? I would say
not just on reception. 30-yard plays.
I would say double digits for sure. I would say 13, somewhere around there.
10 was kind of what came to mind. He only had 600 yards though.
I think he had 20-something catches, if I remember correctly, and he made the most of those opportunities. I mean, he was up there. I could maybe find that as well.
He had 26 for 661.
Yeah,
last year,
and Dante Thornton was.
He had a lot of long ones. So I guess my thing I'm saying, let's say for sake of argument, Dante Thornton had like 10. That seems around where he was at. I have a hard time thinking Mike Matthews is going to have that many.
I don't know.
If he does, he'll be a lot closer to the 30 line where Dante Thornton had 90 against Vanderbilt. He had 65 against Oklahoma. He had 55 against Alabama. You know what I mean? Like Dante Thornton, I'm using 30 as just a big play barometer because Tennessee needs to create those big plays. And if Tennessee creates passing plays of 30-plus yards, even if 30 yards, that would be huge for them this year. Dante Thornton was rarely stopping at 30 yards.
Can I give you some crazy Dante Thornton stats here? Some splits.
Let's hear it.
In Tennessee's wins last year, and their 10 wins, he had 24 receptions, 605 yards, 25.21 yards per reception, 6 TDs. And on only 2 receptions a game for 60 yards apiece, or 60 yards total. So he's averaging like 35 yards or 30 yards a catch in wins for Tennessee. So those were like to your point, it's almost right at the number. It's like he had 2 30-yard plays in those games, and they were huge, 30-plus yard plays, I should say. In losses last year, and there were 3 losses, he had 2 catches total, 56 yards, no TDs, less than 1 reception a game. Like he was the difference. And
think about it, one of those catches was what gave Tennessee a chance to win at Arkansas on the last drive.
Like everyone looked at Dylan Sampson, and Dylan Sampson was awesome last year for Tennessee. No question. Second half, Dylan Sampson was awesome. Tennessee lost football games when Dante Thornton was not able to get the ball and make a couple plays. Like Dante Thornton, you can make the case was more important, especially in the second half for Tennessee than Dylan Sampson.
See, I get what you're getting at. I don't know that I feel to that extent because he was extremely important. At the same time, he wasn't consistent. He wasn't able to stay on the field, and Dylan Sampson was able to stay on the field.
Well, can I throw this at you? If you only could have one back between Dante Thornton and Dylan Sampson this year alone, who would you take back?
I would take Dante Thornton back because I feel good about the running backs.
What about you, Matt?
I would take Dante Thornton as well.
We're all in agreement, and I wonder what a lot of Vol fans would do because Dylan Sampson.
Again, I wonder what a lot of Vol fans would have said 2 weeks ago before fall practice started, and what they would say now.
I wrote about this at sportsrenaissance.com like 6 months ago that I was like the biggest loss is Dante Thornton. I thought that was the one. If you could have one guy back, it's Dante Thornton, and that's the biggest replacement question. But if there's going to be one receiver who replaces Dante this year, it's Mike Matthews. Like that's the guy on the outside who can. I'm not saying replicate 35 yards a reception here in big wins, but I do think he has to be the yak guy where he makes the most of his opportunities when he gets the ball, because I think he's going to have the most. If we had to look at the end of the year prediction wise, I would say Mike Matthews leads Tennessee in targets this year, and he has to make the most of them.
That's where you're going on 2 different routes on Mike Matthews here, about him being a yak guy and him being a guy with a lot of targets.
I think both are true though.
Well, if both are true, he's going to have a mammoth season.
I hope so.
Yeah, and I'm with you on the targets. I'm much less with you on the yak stuff. I hope you're right.
I think Joey's going to throw it up. He's like an early interesting winner of Joey being QB1 potentially. I think Joey being the gamer and deep ball guy. I think he is going to throw it up for Mike Matthews.
Yeah, but I think that's also different than being a yak guy.
Well, what I'm saying is he's gonna, if Mike is open down the field, Joey is Well, it's not going to be one of those Nico Joe situations where they might overthink it. They might not rip it. Like Joey, I just think is going to rip it.
For sure.
Mike has an opportunity to take advantage the most, I think, of a gunslinger quarterback in 25.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. I mean, I think Staley has some of that too, because just how Josh Heupel is typically able to scheme open deep balls for his slot receivers.
I just worry about the slot part of it because of what we've seen from the last two quarterbacks where the over the middle stuff, like you saw it with Joe, like you took that away in 2023. Like I kind of wonder if the outside guys feast more just because they're going to call more plays to the outside versus over the middle if they don't trust Joey to not throw it.
Well, you're saying you think he's a guy that can let it rip. If he's a guy to let it rip, I think that includes over the middle. Here would be the
early
last
season
thing,
at least.
Here would be the last thing I would say too on the Dante Squirrel stuff or the Dante stuff versus the slot. And I'm sure I'm missing one. I can't think of a play that comes to the top of my head right now where Dante Thornton was open down the field and Tennessee did not complete the pass to him last year. Like he was overthrown or it was a bad throw. Like, man, Thornton got behind the defense, bad throw. I can think of countless examples with Squirrel White. Some of them were Squirrel White's fault. He could have caught the ball. But countless examples where he was wide open behind the defense and Tennessee did not complete the pass. And I can think of a couple with Chris Brassel, too. I can think of any of those with Dante Thornton.
Yeah. When we come back, we'll wrap up here on a Wednesday, talking all things Tennessee football. We'll also talk about number one transfer will ultimately be for Tennessee football and men's hoops. We're going to call our shot here as we wrap up on our number 2 right here on The Chase. It's The Chase, Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app.
Congratulations. You found sports radio that doesn't suck. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Yo, 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 what is up with it, homies? Talk sports. That's the show you want. It's the longest running sports radio morning show in town. You want your radio shows to be fun, and that's what Talk Sports is. Fun, fun, fun. No weirdo callers. I think Tennessee gonna go 6-6 this year. No nerdy guests. Well, their receiver depth is a little bit thin. Just two of the most entertaining guys in town, and Bubba giving you what you need. Tune in 7 to 10 a.m. every weekday here on Fan Run Radio.
Hey Knoxville! Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires. Just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776. Or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the volunteer state. Smoked daily by pitmaster Mark Rickard. The barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134. For directions and to look at the rest of the menu, visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
The Chase, right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app. Ryan Shumpert in studio here on a Wednesday as we wrap up the drive with Russell Smith and the Bear coming up next here at 3. I believe we have a call on the line right now, Matt Bailey. Who do we got here joining us right now on the Chase on this Wednesday?
Yeah, this is Chris. Hey, guys, love the show. But, people are like, oh, my goodness, we're switching to Adidas. This is not the Adidas from 15 years ago with uniform designs. Yeah, those were bad. Tennessee has full control over the design. They have to approve everything Adidas does. And supposedly, this is multiple people, y'all may have talked about this, I'm not sure, but it's $20 million a year, where Nike was just over $5 million from the previous Tennessee deal. I mean, you cannot turn that down. And supposedly $5 million direct for NIL. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Times are different now than they were 4 years ago.
No, I 100% agree, Chris. And I think it's one of those two where, I mean, part of it, I think people were worried about, like, whether or not you could win. Like, how would this affect Tennessee's athletic department in terms of, can you still win a title? Is it better to be part of the Nike club with Alabama, Georgia, Texas, and Ohio State and all the other big dogs? Or does it not really ultimately matter? It doesn't matter in baseball. Like, Mississippi State just won a title, and Texas A&M obviously has not been limited in the slightest as an Adidas school. The big issue,
Louisville's been really good.
Louisville's been really good.
Baseball program. Miami
right there, recruiting in the top 10. Like, I think that's been overblown. And to your point, like, I don't think this is not the Adidas of old, and it's not going to be the Adidas of the smoky gray uniforms with the white hats there and everything. Like, I don't think that stuff's coming back. To your point, I will say, and Ryan Shumpert, I don't know if you heard when we were talking about the basketball part of it. That's the one area where I think fan worry is a little bit understandable in terms of what might happen to the basketball uniforms, because Adidas has a very shaky track record there. But I think in terms of baseball and football, I think it's either status quo or potentially an upgrade there. Do you agree?
See, I hated the black Nike baseball uniforms. I don't know why. Just maybe me.
I wish they would have had the Vol script instead of the Vol block letters. I think they would have looked a lot better that way.
I don't think the players want to wear solid black when it's 85, 90 degrees outside.
Are you worried about the creams going away?
The what?
The Sunday creams. Are you worried about that not being a part of the Adidas collection?
Oh, no. I mean, I just think, companies can offer you $15 million more. I mean, I don't know what Nike's offer was this time, but obviously Adidas was way significantly more. I mean, nowadays, everything's all about the money. With the NIL and everything, until they get a collective bargaining agreement. That's just, why do you think Texas Tech's gotten, these 2 5-stars who in a million years, who would choose to live in Lubbock, Texas, when you live in Savannah, Georgia? I mean, that's just the state of the, college sports this time, which I think it sucks, but that's how it is until they get a CBA in place.
But also, who is Texas Tech with? Adidas, another Adidas school. So it's going to be fine. I wouldn't panic. I wouldn't worry about the merchant. Like you said, it's just not the Adidas of 15 years ago. And that's what people remember. And to put a bow on it, Chris, and we appreciate you jumping on with us here. Do you want to see the Stormtrooper logo or look have that black outline with the numbers and the name in the Adidas era? Or do you like how they are right now? Because this is an office split between Matt Bailey and Shumpert and I.
For me, it's, whoever's going to be able to bring most money in for the recruits, because that's just kind of.
Well, no, I'm just talking aesthetically.
Kind of how it is.
On the screen, do you prefer that 1998 feel where you won a national title with that black outline around the numbers, or do you like how the Stormtrooper white uniforms look with no black outline around the numbers?
No black outline.
Oh, okay. All right.
But like you said, Tennessee has full control over uniform design.
Absolutely.
So
So
it's not like Adidas. It's not like Adidas can say, "Here's your jersey." Tennessee can say, "No, we need to tweak this."
yeah, kind of like Kansas. Kansas, their basketball uniforms still great, still one of the premier. I mean, they have maybe the top freshman outside of Nate Ament this year with Darren Peterson coming in. So they've been okay in that department, and Texas Tech coming, like we just talked about. Like, I think it's gonna be fine. Let's all breathe a little bit. And you also remember you won a national title with Adidas in 1998, and things were really good for a long time. And for me, I'm
fine with it.
Yeah,
I'm totally fine with it. Just money talks and Butch Jones walks. But did y'all see where the Kansas booster gave $300 million today to the school?
I did. I think their football field's named after him. Booth, I want to say is his name.
Yeah. That's just I wish I had that kind of money. So, all right, guys, y'all have a good day. See you. Thanks.
Thank you, Chris, for the call. We appreciate it. There you go. I do wonder if most Vol fans are going to just kind of, we understand. It's like one of those, you kind of shrug your shoulders and you run with it. Like, if depending on what the final numbers are for the financials with all of this, like, hey, I think a lot of fans just, by and large, I think the most important thing is you don't make any drastic changes early on. Like, a lot of the uniforms, Tennessee looks really good across the board. The one that I do think I would mess with a little bit is the baseball front. Like, the baseball I would mess with, because those new Nike ones they brought in last year were terrible by and large. I don't know what it means to the Sunday creams. I remember I was talking to Evan Russell, I think 2 weeks ago, who brought it up about like the players who, like, I think they're kind of heavy. Like the Sunday creams.
They do not, the old Sunday creams, like,
Yes.
from a physical standpoint, the players did not like.
Which is tough because those are the best uniforms. And it's like, man, I kind of want my guys to be comfortable out there, but I also really love the aesthetic. Can Adidas figure out a way to make the Sunday creams breathable and something that players want to wear, because they're top notch. And I don't know. I think the Adidas is gonna be fine. Like, I'm also just glad that we're here. Like, we don't have to speculate anymore and wonder about it. And I think it's fine.
Well, we'll still have a year of speculating on what the uniforms look like, I'm sure. But we know for sure.
But this won't affect 26 baseball, right?
No.
Okay.
That's okay. Two things. One, on the same note, the black uniforms baseball that Monday night in which Tennessee won the national championship was genuinely one of the hottest days I've ever been anywhere. It was so hot in Omaha on that Monday night in which Tennessee won the national championship, which made it all the funnier that Tennessee was wearing black uniforms.
Is that kind of why they don't wear the creams in Omaha? It's just too hot over there, and they're never bringing out the creams in Omaha.
I'm not really sure if that's it. Maybe that could be. That could be part of it. I'm not totally sure. Two, everybody keeps saying it's a small thing that's really annoying me, that Tennessee was with Nike from or was with Adidas from 1995 to 2014. They were with Adidas until 2015. Not a 2015 football season. That's why everybody thinks it. They're saying through to 2014. It was the same thing. It ended in June of 2015. So 2015 baseball season, 2015 basketball season, Tennessee was wearing Adidas. This is something that I'm sure none of the listeners care about, but it is something that has really bothered me today, which I see in every single release and every single person tweeting about it, saying 2014 and not 2015.
Okay. All right. Just if you come in contact with Ryan Shumpert on the links or anywhere around East Tennessee, understand, come correct. You're going to talk about
don't rage bait me with the Nike shirts.
I love it. As we put a bow on today's edition of The Chase, Ryan, let's talk here in terms of the transfer portal additions for football and baseball, or basketball, excuse me. We'll say baseball for next week. In terms of football, who right now, based on everything you've seen and heard from fall camp, who is your prediction to have the biggest impact of any Tennessee transfer from this latest portal cycle? Who is it, in your opinion?
Biggest impact or MVP?
Is it a different answer?
It is.
Okay. Give me them both. And then I'll tell you which one I like more based on that answer.
Biggest impact, I think, is Wendell Moy. He's going to start. He's every single snap that he's healthy, he's going to be out there. He is the most, in an interior that has some question marks, that isn't very proven. He is the proven guy that he hasn't done in the SEC, but he's done it at a high level in the Pac-12 and Big 12, good conferences. So his role is going to be huge. I think MVP, I'm going to go Colton Hood. Because I'm not sure Colton Hood, if everything goes well with Jermon McCoy, is rehab and he's back. I don't know if the entire season Colton Hood is playing a massive role. I'm sure he's going to be playing, and it's not like when Jermon McCoy comes back, he's just not going to play. But it's not going to be like Wendell Moy, who's out there every single play. But I think having Colton Hood is going to be so valuable for Tennessee early in the year, to not have a huge, just a massive, they can still be good at corner even without Jermon McCoy. And if someone else goes down, Ricky Gibson has missed time in practice. If there is another lingering injury at corner, because I feel good about Jalen McMurray too, even though he might have to play star to start the season. I would feel good about him playing corner. Even past Dermott, if they're like one more injury away from being like in a lot of trouble at corner, where if they didn't have Colton Hood, like that was a huge pickup, I think, post spring.
No, I 100% agree. And if Colton is advertised, like my bet is Colton potentially, because he's been so good here this summer and the fall camp, is you don't have the pressure to potentially rush Dermott back, right? Like if Colton is a plug and play guy and is good for Tennessee across from Ricky Gibson, that's the other part. If Ricky has made the leap with his 20 pounds and it's a contract year for him, if he has a great year, like where does that
easily have a breakout year?
Yeah, and then that takes a whole bunch of pressure off Dermott, but it also takes a whole bunch of pressure off Colton Hood. And you like Ty Redmond, what you've heard there from Milton, true freshman guy. You have options at corner, it seems like, but it is one of those where if Colton is a plug and play guy, that helps Tennessee in so many different ways. And it takes pressure off having McMurray have to slide down to corner and then having to go somewhere else at star. Like, do you throw Caleb Beasley in there at that point and have Idris just get all the steps at safety next to Turntine? Like, there's all kinds of machinations that you have to adjust if Colton Hood is not a plug and play guy at corner. Because it seems like, as of right now, we're taping this on an August 13th, Ryan Shumpert. Dermott, we're not expecting to see in that Syracuse game. I would expect Colton Hood is going to be across from Ricky Gibson as the starting corner, right?
100%. Yeah, I think that would have been the case anyway. I think it becomes all the more clear with some of the Boo Carter stuff and it feeling like he's probably not going to at least start for Tennessee at star in that game, which would make Jalen McMurray the most natural fit to slide over there. It's kind of in some ways like the offensive line and the interior where there's so much that affects everything else. The Boo Carter thing, and I know you've been big on you're a big Boo Carter guy. You wanted him back badly. We've had this conversation. I think losing Boo Carter or Boo Carter being suspended or him being limited in what he does is the importance of that is lessened a lot by having Colton Hood. Even though Colton Hood's not going to play star, he's not going to play the same spot. I think that makes it, I'm not going to say not a big deal because Boo Carter's a really talented player who can help Tennessee, but to me, not nearly as important.
Yeah. What about you, Matt? Who's your transfer?
I don't know. I think early on I wasn't as thinking this guy was going to make as big of an impact, but as we've heard through camp and stuff, I think Star Thomas is going to come in here and have a
He's
bigger
a sneaky
impact
dark horse. I like
than a lot of people think that he was going to, because a lot of people were on Peyton Lewis and now
Greek God,
yeah,
Peyton Lewis,
apparently a Greek God. But I think that he's going to come in and have a bigger impact than a lot of people thought.
I love the Star Thomas one. I just think he makes you feel a whole, like if you're Darrell Sims, you just breathe a sigh of relief. With Deshaun Bishop's injury questions over the last 2 years, they're like, even if Deshaun gets banged up or something, like he's a leader, he's a great player, but if he gets banged up, like we're okay. We got Star Thomas is going to be able to keep us afloat, and we're going to be fine, whether it's Lewis or Bishop who gets dinged up. So you can breathe in terms of your bodies that you have back there on the football front. Basketball front, who do you have as your top transfer this season for Rick Barnes' team?
Yeah, this one's a no-brainer. It's Jacoby Gillespie.
Yeah, it has to be Jacoby.
You gave me a face at first, like, wow, no-brainer. Yeah, it's an easy one. Jacoby Gillespie.
It is Jacoby, but I will say, just to make it interesting, because Jacoby could be a first-team All-American this year. Like, I don't think people. I mean,
Braden Smith's gonna be tough to unseat on first-team All-American.
Who is?
Braden Smith.
I mean, he's gonna be right there.
I hope so.
I mean, Jacoby has.
Braden Smith is a returning first-team All-American.
I don't disagree, but I think Jacoby is going to have the usage and the opportunity to really push for it. Like he is. Like he could be Tennessee's Walter Payton or Walter Clayton this year.
Walter
Payton too. Who says no?
Yeah, I mean that's big jumps. I mean Walter Clayton was not just the best player on a national championship team. He was a guy that carried single-handedly won a lot of NCAA tournament teams first.
Gillespie has it, man. Crab 5 last year.
Yeah, really good player, and I think Gillespie can take another sizable step forward and not be Walter Clayton and not be a first-team All-American.
I think he has to be if Tennessee wants to win a national championship.
Yeah, to win a national championship, sure. I mean, we're talking about a program that hasn't won and made it to the Final Four. So, like,
but I mean, they're in a great position.
They're not in a great position to win the national championship.
I'm saying to make the Final Four. They're going to be in the 1 seed conversation, and if you're in the 1 seed conversation, then you're right there. There's a disconnect, I think, nationally with Tennessee versus like on the outside.
The Tennessee basketball loop from national media coverage is truly unbelievable. It goes start the season, Tennessee wins some big games early. Everybody like, wow, Tennessee, they've really overachieved early. Rick Barnes, he does it year after year, folks. Then a mix of people talking themselves into Tennessee during conference play and a mix of people saying, can't trust Rick Barnes. Tennessee doing well in the NCAA tournament, making it to the Elite Eight. It's somehow getting spun as Tennessee failing in the NCAA tournament. Tennessee doing pretty good in the offseason, having you easily seeing the path to how they're going to be really good again the next year. National media people largely crapping on Tennessee's offseason and then having low expectations for him going into the season. And then when they get the early season wins, they get high on him again. The cycle has repeated itself for no joke 3 straight years.
I love it. That'll do it for us here on The Chase on this Wednesday afternoon. Thank you to Ryan Shumpert. Thank you to Matt Bailey. The Drive with Russell Smith and the Bear is up next. Chase is back tomorrow with Saturday and South Ethan Stone at 1 o'clock. Have a wonderful afternoon, East Tennessee.
The Chase on Fox Sports Knoxville and Fan Run Radio. Heck yeah. For the fans, by the fans, this is Fan Run Radio. Knock.